everybody. This is Saline County Hardliners back with you again. Um, we got a we got a guest today. You've seen him before on here, Mike Shnaekel. He's the Hot Springs County chairman of the Hot Springs County Republican Committee. Excuse me. I'm Keith Kellum, and my co-host here is
Evan Bradshaw.
Yep. And we're going to talk about Arkansas First right now. Arkansas First News. We now have Candy Cox has a morning show at the Capitol during session, so it's going to run probably till about however long session lasts. Probably well into March anyway, or early April, and it's at 9 to 11:30 at the state capitol, and she is covering. She's interviewing legislators, and we got Mike's going out and going to committee meetings and sessions and kind of getting a drift, talking to other legislators and getting them come on and interview with. We last week we had or Wednesday we had we have
I can't remember his name. Talking about daylight savings time.
Yeah, Senator Alan Clark.
Yeah,
and so we're going to start doing that. We're excited about that. And then on Thursday, Candy's also having a show that is Arkansas First Review. That's Arkansas First Report is on Wednesday. Arkansas First Review is another podcast that's reviewing kind of what's happened that week or so far that week in the legislature. So we're just trying to cover the session because that's the big thing happening right now is the session and what's happening in our state politics. Besides what's happening, there's a lot that happened nationally too. But the first part of the year, it's going to be mainly, because whatever they do has a lot to do with what happens in our counties. And, Mike's in Hot Spring, we're in Saline. So it's going to have a lot to do. I'm going to let Kevin chime in on our show. We're going to start doing a live show. This is not live, but the next one should be. And that's going to be.
Keith, real quick, on Candy's live stream for right now, she's streaming that live on Wednesday mornings from KANDICOX on her Facebook page because the Arkansas First right now, until it's 2 months old, we can't live stream on that. So if you want to find Candy on Wednesdays, you have to go to – she's streaming live from her personal page, and then it's getting posted to the Arkansas First page. And you can have comments and interact with her on that Wednesday morning show if you're on the Candy Cox page.
Okay, repeat that again. Repeat that again, the station. Okay.
KANDI COX. So if you would just go on and follow Candy, and you'll get everything that Candy's got going on Wednesday mornings, and then her main broadcast on Thursdays will be put out on Arkansas First.
Yeah, I don't know everything going on. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm glad you're here to say that. I've been lost in the drift there. But I'm gonna have Kevin talk about our show, about what we're fixing to do live, and we're gonna have we want have some input from people watching, live input. So Kevin, take it away, buddy.
All righty. So once again, go ahead and follow Candy. We want you guys to go out there and watch that. She's talking a lot. Everyone's loving her right now. So you guys get a chance, go to her page, and you can watch on Arkansas First. And like I said, we're babies right now. We are just baby right now, but we've had our stuff a lot longer, so we can actually get our feed out there right now. So what we want to do is we're going to actually start doing our own live stream on hopefully Facebook, on YouTube, and Rumble. We even on X once or twice. What we want to do is we want to actually talk to our viewers. We want to talk to people who are interested in what's going on nowadays. And we want your feedback. We want y'all to talk to us. So we are actually going to probably focus on YouTube, where they have the live chat, they have the super chats and all that stuff, where you can actually comment and ask questions about what's going on in Arkansas and what's going on in legislative session right now. And also what's going on local with you. What are y'all thinking what's going on? What's something y'all want to see? What's something y'all want to hear about? So if you have anything you want to, I want you guys to comment on our page and we'll talk to you. I know this was actually brought up just by Mike because he's been wanting to do something like this. This is something he's been really passionate about. I've been wanting to get to this point, but it's just hard to push at the rate that we have. So just based on where we're at, and we're finally getting to a point that we can do this kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching us. Thank y'all for your support, and please just keep on watching.
And also on Candy Show on the Arkansas First report on Wednesday morning, which is live. I don't know if he's on there. Probably Jimmy Cabin's going to be on there a lot with her. And then I think Mike's going to be on here a lot with us on Thursday night, which is going to be live. So you got a Wednesday morning show. You got a Thursday. Well, hers is at 10 o'clock.
Hers will be at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning, and I'll be on Candy's show every once in a while when Jimmy's not available or there's sessions and stuff. I'll probably fill the gap a little bit on that, but the main focus is going to be Saline Hardliners and their Arkansas First. This Thursday night show is our
Jimmy and Mike are kind of ramrodding covering the legislature issues. We didn't have a whole lot. They're slow to get going, just like they're more important. I mean, you can go through the rules and organization, and they're just now. They are coming out with some bills though, and like there's one daylight savings time that's going on right now, and it's basically are for or against. Some people are for it. I think we've been trying to get that through. It didn't pass last legislature, but we'll see how that goes.
I would definitely like to see it passed.
You watched Candy's morning show with Jimmy, the last Wednesday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. They talked a lot about it.
Yeah, she actually had the guy who is going all over the whole country that is working on the bills with all of the states within the United States. So she actually was very fortunate. I can't remember his name right now. It was Jay something, but he was actually in Arkansas yesterday with Candy and one of the state reps, and was immediately leaving Arkansas headed to Utah. I mean,
I think we had a separate interview with them after the show was over, I believe, or maybe.
That was Meeks and I can't
Meeks,
remember.
Representative Meeks.
JP. Meeks and JP is what it was. That's actually on Candy's page, so if y'all want, go watch it.
Yeah, it's available right now.
Yep.
After you get done, or
we're all Arkansas First. Once you get done watching this video, go watch that video. Watch all of our stuff. Go read some articles from Arkansas First.
Great articles.
Hey, I've got 2 articles on there right now. Go read them.
Plug them. What are they on?
Hey, and here's the deal. We really need to
plug them, Kevin.
We really need people liking, sharing, following. If you want to donate or send some stars our way.
None of us are making a check. I haven't got a check yet on this.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get a check. I don't think I'll ever get to that point. But I mean, this thing is the train is on the tracks. There's fuel in the tank. And it's been kind of a slow ramp, but we've had a lot going on in the nation, really, Arkansas and national, because, we're in inauguration week for President Trump. And so there's a lot of events that we had representatives out on that. So it's been kind of a slow upkeep and learning a lot, because you're trying to build a relationship with people. So I'm looking forward to everything that's going on. Hardliners, Candy's reviews, Arkansas First, the newsletters. I mean, Kitty Barf. I always look forward to Kitty Barf by Clint Lancaster.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a whole series. That's going to be a whole.
I'll just say it. That I look forward to Sunday for Kitty Barf.
We're going to go national with Kitty Barf. There's nothing.
I think Kitty Barf at some point is going to sprout legs and it's going to take off.
And he does a great job with it. Stuff like that to me, that's not easy.
Hey, if y'all want to go, y'all need to go read Guarding Our Families Against Harmful Media Influences and A Return of Wholesome Movies by Kevin Bradshaw.
There you go.
That's my 2 articles right there. I'm trying to convince Keith to start writing something.
I'm thinking about it. I have to get my writing head on. Got to fit. Maybe I'll walk back up 3 o'clock in the morning, write something. Something gets.
Yeah, I can write, but it's going to be something like Sea Dog Run, Dog Dog Run Tree, something like
Maybe you
that.
can single that in with cat bars. You can like.
Yeah,
Hey, all you gotta do is just plug that in Chat GPT. They'll make something.
yeah, no, I'm much better talking than I am writing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, I was no scholar when it came to the English comprehension of writing, so I got
I
by.
wrote a little bit, but it's been a while. But I'm going to get something that going with that maybe. But
Yeah.
Mike, what's going on with the state right now in the national politics? Maybe we talk about there's a lot going on national too. That
Oh,
Man, I tell you what, when you really want to talk state and national, because I think I was counting bills with you a while ago before we came on. There's 11 bills pending, going back into the House. I I I want to say there's 90 something bills on the agenda right now, and the session right now is expected to last anywhere from 90 to 120 days. This session for Arkansas between the House of Representatives and the Senate, and it's been a learning process for me during this too, because you know Senate and the House comes into session or reconvenes typically on 10 o'clock on weekdays, but the committees, and when I say
I think it
reconvene,
was
because
one
like,
thirty. It was 1:30 last week when they all convened.
yeah, and today there was actually, and when I think of reconvening, I think of them coming back into the full House chamber or coming into the full Senate chamber. There was two times today that they actually reconvened in one of the committee rooms for a vote on a couple of bills, and I think there's only been like 7 bills come out right now, which are basically housekeeping bills.
Yeah.
Hey, this is going to be the budget for this session. This is the anticipated workload this session, those type of bills. Hey, we need to notify the governor.
I haven't
You
seen
know,
any change the world.
yeah, nothing changing the world yet. And there's been some heavy discussions on some bills that were expected to come straight out of committees that haven't came straight out of committees right now.
Were you there
And
today?
I was there for a very short period of time today. I didn't come in long because most of the committees. The deal is when you get there, you got to look at what they're going to be in committees, and you got to choose which committee you go to. Because there's going to
Right.
be between the Senate and the House, you're going to have 8 to 10 committees meeting at the exact same time. So you're trying to figure out, okay, which bill do I feel like is going to truly impact the citizens? Because a lot of the bills don't really have an impact. Like right now there's a bill it's a joint resolution bill to repeal slavery and servitude. We haven't had slavery in Arkansas and people in servitude in Arkansas for 200 years almost. I mean,
I mean,
but
it's kind of like, they're
the bill in Arkansas right now.
yeah. It's a joint resolution that should come through. I thought it would come through this week, but it'll probably be early next week.
yeah,
It's just some of that stuff you look at it and you're like,
I'm gonna have to look at that.
that's just talk.
yeah,
That's just taking up space. I mean,
yeah. There's a bunch of that. I mean,
addressing something that's not even a thing. I mean,
You
really.
know, one that caught my eye was the Cersei, and I don't have it sitting in front of me right now. There was a bill for Cersei to separate the sheriff's department.
I saw that. Well, that's because a lot of counties have, even Pulaski County, surprisingly enough, as big as it is, have the collectors and the sheriff's the same person. Just like some of them are the circuit clerk and the county clerk are the same. But
Yeah,
now Saline County is not that way, and I don't think Hot Spring County is that way either.
it's not.
And I could not imagine in our county if the sheriff had to do the collector's job and if the county clerk had to do the circuit clerk's job. I really couldn't because I mean that'd be a lot to do. Now if it's a
Yeah,
really small county, you know, if it's a really small county, I could maybe see it. But
that county's growing pretty fast right now
which
too.
county was it?
Searcy County.
See, Searcy County is what? Is who? What town? See,
I believe that Searcy's the county seat for that. It's actually one of the few counties that the city seat is the county also.
Oh,
But
Cersei. Okay, I got you.
yeah, Cersei.
I'm not sure, but
And the only thing that was really confusing to me on that is that seemed like county business to me. Why is the state involved in county business?
I think because the state creates the rules of how to run a county, like, you know, like county judges, a quorum court, how many justices apiece you have, all goes through the state, so it's all the same in all the counties. So they control, like, we can't just our county couldn't decide just not to have a county judge. It would have to go through the state. Not
Yeah.
happen. It was hypothetical, but
Yeah.
I
See,
think
that's
that's
just a
why.
learning thing for me right now is,
Well, me too. I'm finding this out by being on the quorum court of what, like there's a lot of things I thought, we're going to do this in our county. Well, you can't because it's a law through the state. The state constitution is ahead of anything in the county. So
yeah.
you can't change it. It's kind of like the old ALA accreditation, American Library Association. Your directors have to be accredited by an ALA school, which is not one in Arkansas. Well, I'm waiting for that bill to come up. I hope somebody will bring that up to where we don't have to. So that way we can get rid of and disaffiliate. And I say right here that we can disaffiliate with the American Library Association.
Are you going to compare yourself to the American Libraries Association right now, Keith?
Am I what?
Are you going to compare yourself to the American Library Association right now?
Oh, no.
I'm just messing. Hey, by the way, Keith is a
Easy.
JP in Saline County. For everyone that don't know, Keith Kellum is a JP in Saline County. So
District 4.
Yeah,
Very conservative. But the thing is, I'd like to disaffiliate because they're the head of the snake. They're sending all the materials. You go to their website, and I've talked about this on this show before. If you go to their website, it's all about indoctrination. It's all about DEI. I think they call it DIE. I don't know if they're trying to fool somebody or not. It's the same thing. Just words are different. Words are different position. Anyway, they have all these programs and all these trends. Huh?
I got to plug in real quick. Y'all go to Arkansas First and watch our episode on all the judge who ruled the
federal judge
were unconstitutional.
Timothy Brooks, I believe.
Yeah, go watch that. And also, Miss Cody Crumpton actually wrote an article recently about the materials. Y'all need to go read her article.
Yeah, a great article.
Yeah, watch her podcast that she had with who'd she do the podcast with? Cody.
Us.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you haven't seen that podcast, that one will, when it comes to libraries, make sure you're prepared for it because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be shocked. It's what our children are getting put in front of them is absolutely.
And they got too big a budget. They got like a $3.5 million carryover. That's public information. And on the budget. So, but the thing is, like I thought, well, we'll just change that. You can't do it. It's got to go through a millage. It was a millage increase voted in by the people. So we got to go back to the people to get them to lower it. And I'm not saying get rid of it, but it needs to be lowered. It's like 1.5 mils or something.
Yeah,
quite a bit for what they're doing.
Yeah, and it needs to be half that probably. So because if they got that much leftover money to pull over to the next, and plus to the next year, then that's too much. So, but that has to, and I think Cody's going to work. And it's not going to come to 26, of course, 26 election. So she's got time to get that going and get another petition. The other petition wasn't quite right. It was late in it. It was right before.
Just missed it. Just missed it.
It wasn't going to be good. So, but that needs to happen. Of course, you're going to get all kinds of advertisements that the mega folks are doing it and they're ignorant and they don't want our kids to know how to read. They don't want them going to the library. They don't believe in the library. They don't believe in education. I can hear it all right now. But yes, because it's too much money. It's too much money. They're part of the pie to go up.
It's insane the money they spend on the indoctrination of our children and our grandchildren, all of our school age kids, and not just in high schools. It's happening in colleges too, which Arkansas is
Colleges,
kind of,
though, colleges, yeah, they're indoctrination. As far as the books, colleges, they're 18 or over. Okay, if they want to read that stuff, they can, I guess. They're adults. But as far as the kids
Well,
that
they're
are
pushing it
below
on
18,
minors, and they literally created a
right,
new
below 18.
Yeah, yeah, a new adult is what they call it. They call it new adults, where people who are under 18 can go. Oh, just because you're a teenager now, you can learn more about sex.
13 to 18, I believe, which is two. That's not good.
and
And
when I
what?
say graphic, it's graphic.
Mhm.
And what's that?
It's
Trevor.
the
What's
Trevor Project.
Trevor
So
Project? That's
they
trash.
allow you, if you're confused, they have a thing called the Trevor Project where
Trash.
that you can actually go and chat online with adults who are, providing you an opportunity to talk more about this stuff with some random adult about your sexuality. Why would you let your children, minors under 18, talk to some random adult? And the thing about the app is it has that automatic delete button so they can't track it. So as soon as you type something and they answer you, your text goes away. It just deletes.
I think that is just.
So is that through the libraries?
It's mentioned in the library. Miss Cody Crumpton has actually got pictures of that in the Saline County Benton Library.
Yeah, we need that. That stuff needs to be. That's just common sense.
Well, the thing is everyone's not paying attention, and that's what
No.
shows like this and Arkansas First is great on. Is don't just and again don't just watch
It's
and don't just listen to what we're saying. Do a little bit of your research, and we'll give you those avenues and places to go look. But have a discussion with your friends about these things, especially if you've got kids or you've
I
got
do it.
grandkids or you're especially in your churches. And I mean, churches should get super involved in this stuff because it is, I mean, what they are doing, there is federal laws that don't border on pedophilia. It is pedophilia.
Well, it's also
Clearly.
encourages incest. Uh, Besides
Um,
homosexuality, transgenderism, it affects incest and things of that nature.
well, and if you look at mental health across the
Why?
United
I mean,
States,
they try to say, well, incest happens. Sure, incest happens. I know it happens. It's always happened and it always will. Unfortunately,
well, they're trying to make it
we don't
normal
need to
though.
teach kids about it. I mean,
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
trying to
but
normalize it
it's
as
no
the
matter what the
problem.
matter is, why are we giving it to kids? That's the issue. Why are we
Yeah.
promoting this kind of nasty material towards children?
well, like
Yes.
if the Cody Crumpton show we had,
If y'all actually go to that
he
Cody
had this.
Crumpton
It'll have
interview,
a sensor on
we
it when you
have
look at it.
those photos of the Trevor Project on there.
Yeah, it has a sensor on it because we thought we need to let people know you don't want your kids to be.
It'll make you mad. Like I genuinely, when I watched that episode, I got feelings about it. Like, I mean,
That's what we want.
it caused an emotional reaction out of me, not sadness or anything like that. It made me mad. Like, because when you see the graphics in these things, and it's not just, it's giving you
And the wording
detailed
and the wording.
instructions. I
Yes,
mean, it is just, mm.
it's just
And
filth. It's filth.
well, they're trying to normalize everything right now, and and I'll talk. You'll hear me talk about mental health a lot, and we talk about the mental health crisis that's in the United States. The reason we have such a high mental health crisis in the United States in our juvenile age groups is because a lot of this stuff is getting normalized to them, and when they finally, I won't say wake up, but they get old enough to realize what has been done to this point to them, then they're starting to have feelings about what has happened because they've probably performed some of these things that have been led and pushed upon them. And when they get older, like, man, I don't feel good about that no more. And I think that's why we had this
To me,
massive
Well,
mental
the
health
problem is
crisis in the United States.
there's nowhere to actually get help is because the problem now is like psychiatrists and all these nonsense people, groomers. Whatever happens is these kids come to them with questions and they may have been confused about something. They don't really know what they're talking about. Children don't know
well, I
what
tell
they're
you what,
talking
I'll
about.
probably get beat up on this, but when kids like to do what other kids do. Kids follow what other kids do.
Exactly.
Like for instance, when you have these shootings, they worry
Yep.
about having kids doing that. You start seeing them happen after that because they're copycat stuff. Well, the same thing happens with all this transgender crap. And little kids, young kids don't understand they're changing their life, Exactly. To them it's a fad. I don't buy this, it's in I can't help the way I think.
That's the issue right there that I'm trying to get at is these are adults, psychiatrists and doctors and all these, smart people coming in here saying, hey,
just abnormal.
Yeah. It's normal for you to feel this way. Why don't you try it out? Why don't you just say this is okay? Instead of actually fixing the issue, because there is only two genders. I'm gonna say it right here. There's two genders, male, female. And if you are going outside of that, then it's mental illness. The problem is we are not fixing mental illness. We are affirming it and allowing children to think that they're something they're not.
That's another thing. Trump in his address, said that there's only going to be in the federal government, there's going to be two genders, male and female.
That's right.
There's not going to be any more support in transgender in the military. There's not going to be any more support in transgender this, or catering to them or whatever.
Not in our military, not in anything.
And I think the state, I don't know if this is going to happen. I haven't talked to anybody. It'd be nice if the state would reiterate that with that the state's not recognizing it either,
Yeah.
I think I guess this will be something coming up maybe, but the county shouldn't recognize it. We should recognize it anywhere, in the schools or anything. Everybody should follow suit on this, that there's two genders, male and female, period. Period.
Yeah, county, it's
like science says, like a biology book says.
Yep.
I'm getting
it's look, you have X chromosomes and you have Y chromosomes. Keith,
there's no letter in between X and Y that I know of.
I'm going to disappoint you right now, Keith. You are never going to get pregnant, unfortunately. You are never going to birth a child. You are never going to have a menstrual cycle, no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what book you read. It's not going to happen, because I remember, 8 years ago, 10 years ago? Oh, the first man is having a baby. No, a first man did not have a baby.
This man ain't even
that dude was a woman that was identifying as a man that was having a baby. It is impossible.
I don't have childbearing
hips. Okay? Look,
I do not have childbearing hips.
God done us a favor, and I thank him for it all the time, because I can tell you right now, Mike Shnaekel would be a childless person.
Well, I heard, I don't know if my wife said it or my mother or both of them said one time, if you had to depend on, and there's living creatures on the earth where the male, I think there's one of them. I don't remember what it is.
A seahorse?
Yeah, sometimes they're the ones that have the children. But anyway, besides that, if you had to depend on men to carry a child and have children, our population would decease.
Global warming would be non-existent.
You wouldn't need to do self-destruction. As people grew old and died, there would not be any replacements.
No,
you couldn't find enough men to go through that crap.
No, they wouldn't have to be creating COVID for sure to off, portions of the human race, because we do it on our own. If they said, "Hey, dudes, here on out, you guys are responsible for childbearing," well, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm out. I'm out.
That world's outlived me.
Yeah, and something that kind of surprised me this
week. The way
they're
going to get AI, you won't have to work. They don't want people to have kids anymore. They want the AI to take over. So
look, there was a thing on yesterday on the news, and I forget where it was.
AI, some other
where it is. There's this company now. While you're talking about AI, that they charge $200 a month membership fee for this AI, and what it is it's a comfort program, and there's these people out there now that are divorcing their spouses because they have fell in love with the AI comfort program. And it's a computer
that's because
program.
They don't talk back to them, maybe, because they don't, they don't eat, they don't sleep.
Look, AI scares me, and I know Donald Trump put $500 million toward the development of AI, and I understand it.
Different type of AI. There's different AI.
For technological advances, I get it, But AI in a robot form
when you
or
start replacing people, like I watched Davos today. You know, he spoke before Davos today. Well, he was here, but he was speaking to them.
yeah.
And they're a bunch of nuts. Let me tell you what, those guys on that panel are crazy. They refer to human beings as them, even though they're human beings, I guess.
Hey, and our governor's there.
They talk about them. They will not, you know, they were talking about kickback from human race, the humans living on Earth, kickback about having, you know, AI mechanisms to run everything. Well, and then they say them, as in us.
Yeah, like we're the enemy.
What the hell's that about?
Yeah, we're the enemy. We are the future destruction of robots, and they don't want the future destruction. I mean, look at our. I mean, if you just take, you're a little bit older than I am, but I'm 52 years old. In my lifetime, I have went. I have seen go from a carpenter aspect, a manufacturing aspect where it was all person input, running a machine, a drill, uh, whatever, to the robotics that there is now. And you know, I mean, because we're already outsourcing the human race. I mean, it's happening, and there's no stopping it. And they're going to continue to do it.
Happen. It's just a matter of, I mean,
I went into Circle K today, and Circle K now is creating these kiosks in the stores and getting rid of people. Now they're only going to have one person on shift to be there to correct any kiosk malfunctions versus having the 3 or 4 on shift that they're used to having. That, you know, while we're worried about illegal aliens coming into the United States and illegals being here, what we really need to be worried about is technology. Because technology is what's replacing us. Technology, I mean, and it's coming. And it scares me. Technology scares me.
Well, I mean, some does when you start, you know, if you start taking, let's say you start having AI robots or whatever you want to call them, that, okay, you could easily have them fight our wars, like oversee, you know, if you kill a bunch of robots, well, what the heck? Have them, you know, you don't have people anymore on the ground, which, okay, they'll say, well, that's saving lives. You go to, you're going to go to Mars, you send AI, you don't send man. But if you take everything from man, what does man have? I mean, if you take their adventure, their dreams away, we will just self-destruct.
And we will.
And I think maybe not in our lifetime, maybe in our lifetime. I don't know how fast this happens, but I think ultimately that'll be the thing that gets mankind. We'll destroy ourselves through our own creations. It's kind of
like World Economic Forum is.
You know? He created a monster that he couldn't handle. You know.
Well, the WEF, WHO, none of them agencies exist for the betterment of mankind. No. They exist.
Money.
Yeah, money. One world order
and control a robot. Oh, well.
The WEF is all about robots. I mean, it's all about.
And I'm gonna call it robots. Probably not the proper thing to call them, but anyway, AI. There's all kinds of different AI. You know, but it's going to happen. The bad thing about AI, we can say we're not going to have any AI in this country. We're not going to promote AI in this country. The problem is these other countries like China are all over it. So when they get into, it's kind of like a race, technology race. If they get into it and dominates their lives, it'll help them we'll just be left out. So I know that's a bad way to look at it, but it's real. It's real.
You're right.
They won't outsource their people. It's going to be China because their people are just too many and they have to have control over them. It's easier to control. Through the veil. And right now, with AI, they can replace a lot of office jobs. They can replace a lot of small machine jobs and stuff like that. Once they get to that point, it's game over for China.
Well, they don't
complete control over
them. And they don't need mankind, and that's basically what they were saying today, is to get where you're not dependent. They were actually talking about, and I was listening to this. They were talking about how inefficient mankind is, how mankind gets sick, mankind needs money. mankind has bad days, and this is all bad for production of for technology for just running the world, the
Look,
business. And I'm thinking, well, that's what do you say about that? Just kill everybody off. I mean, what's going to happen to those guys? They're going to be the ones running the show. It's just a blatant control factor.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, show up to work tomorrow and report to Bob the computer, and Bob is going to follow you all day.
Oh, I'll tell you another thing. They're
talking create about more efficiency.
Say you're going to a convention, okay? Or you're going to some meeting somewhere, like Davos or somewhere, and you're signed up, and they got your profile and all that stuff. Well, when you get there, you know how when you have in some of these committee meetings, you'll have breakout sessions and all that. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I want to go to this one over here because I'm interested in this. I want to go to that one. Well, you're not going to be able to do that. They're going to send you by what they think you want, by your history, kind of like Facebook. It sends you places because you've maybe been there once, one time, or you mentioned one name. An algorithm, and you're not going to have a choice. So again, it takes away your choices. How many times have you talked to AI on the phone and you cannot get where you want to go because it gives you all these options? And have you ever cursed the phone while you're talking to them? I talk to them like they're people. Just makes me feel better. Like, I don't want to go there. Oh, over here.
My wife got in that death spiral the other day. I forget what she was calling. She's like, "No, I'm just an operator."
Yeah, when somebody gets on the phone, then I'm mad. When I do get somebody on the phone, I'm pissed, and I'm like, "Turn your AI on. I want to go where I want to go."
Look, you're supposed to have a zero that goes straight to the operator, and you ain't got no operators.
They're trying to punish you, and so you spend half your day trying to get one little thing done, because it keeps bouncing you here, bouncing you there. And I hate that.
I thought I was the only person that had that issue. I thought I was the only guy that cussed the phone.
I'll tell you what, one job is like one of the basic trade jobs right now. So you ain't never gonna get no robot to replace a toilet, just like you the next 10 years. You want.
That's why I encourage young people to go into those trades. Because IT is becoming a dime a dozen. There's a lot of people out there that they're IT people.
The construction industry is getting really heavy on the robotics right now too.
That's what I mean. You can't make.
Yeah, the construction industry with like mining and stuff like that, it's getting really big on robotics and remote operated, dump trucks.
There's no telling what it'll end up being. I mean, it's actually like I remember. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the old Twilight Zone. The old.
Yes. It's black and white Twilight.
Coming true. This stuff is coming true. I guess when I was a kid, I never thought about it coming true. It's in the future. Well, maybe not. You don't really think about it. It's entertaining. But this crap is coming totally true.
I can't tell you how many things we watched when I was a kid, and you just kind of laughed at it like, ha, ha, ha. And now you're.
Yeah, I mean, we could never do that. We could never do that. That's what
could you have ever imagined a cell phone when you were a kid, Keith? Like even the possibility of a cell phone?
I didn't. When I watched Star Trek, I didn't even see how we could ever do the phone. The flip phone they had.
Yeah.
Star Trek's behind. They had flip phones.
Yeah. And it's moving faster now than it ever has. That's the thing that I look at now is, technology kind of creep. Now it is just every day it's something new. iPhone 16, iPhone 18, iPhone 40.
Like my grandkids, you got kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got kids. You got grandkids yet?
Yep.
Okay, your grandkids, my grandkids, Kevin's kids. There's no doubt. They're gonna be adults in a world that's very much different than this
Oh, massively different than this one. And it's which every generation. Oh,
Hopefully
when I
I'm
was a kid,
gone
this. When I was a
where I
kid,
don't have to
that.
bitch about it all the time. I just don't. I'm gonna be gone where I don't have to bitch because I'm never gonna stop bitching about it. I still bitch about stuff. I still bitch about phones and all that.
Well, you want to know the craziest thing is right now we are literally considered cybernetic organisms because we rely on these things right here so much. I mean,
It's
this is a
terrible.
major part of my daily.
And we're all guilty of it. Every one of us is guilty of it.
Look, I'd be lost without my phone.
You
I mean,
know?
hell, we got self-driving cars.
I still don't trust those.
Oh, I'm not
They
getting
talked
one.
about that too. They talked about, and they basically said people are so ignorant they can't let go of, they don't understand. This is what the guy said. He said they don't understand that they're much more efficient than some of the drivers.
Yeah,
He
that's why they
said
keep
that.
crashing into each other in
He
California.
said that.
They're also catching on fire.
But these are the Davos students.
Yeah. My daughter goes to
Global
Ole Miss.
Forum.
Yeah, my daughter goes to Ole Miss, and when we went to Ole Miss on her first visit to go out there and look and see if it was a college that she was interested in, I was kind of amazed because we get there, and and you've got Uber Eats and all these other things.
Oh yeah.
Well, they got these little like 3x3 cubes with 8 wheels on them, and I mean there's hundreds of them. And it'll literally, there is no delivery on that campus outside of those little cubes. Anything you want, books, food, everything. And I mean, it gets in the crosswalk. It turns the crosswalk lights on so it can cross the crosswalk. It gets to a curb. It's got these little stair step wheels on it. I mean, and they're everywhere. I mean,
so
everywhere.
Will it get to a point where, okay, I want to call in a pizza from Pizza Hut to have it delivered? Is it going to get to a point where, okay, normally, say I buy pepperoni and mushroom. The last 5 times I bought out, I buy pepperoni and mushroom. Okay, let's say next week I don't want that. I got guests. I want a supreme, or I want something else. So that's going to have this AI thing saying, "Well, Keith, we're going to send you this pepperoni and mushroom pizza. That's what you always order. You can't have the supreme because that's not you, man. That's not what you want. You know what you
You
want.
don't know what you're confused
Now, I'm
today,
taking
Keith.
it down to a simple, but this could end up happening.
It's coming.
I'll tell you what, if it happens to me, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to drive over to Pizza Hut. I'm going to do. And I'm going to tear their computer. I'm just going to go crazy.
Look, are you going to drop a Jimmy Caven on them?
Because there's not going to be anybody cooking a pizza because they're going to have it where the robots could cook pizzas. I mean, they could throw the stuff on there and put them in there and all that. You'll just have one person there to maybe.
They're going to have a big warehouse full of drones just building all these things, and there's not going to be a store location no more. It's just going to be a big.
I can see these things happening.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. Kevin's kids.
That's what's going to be in Amazon Pizza Hut.
Walmart, when you go get your groceries, they're going to give you the same thing you bought last time.
Kevin's kids in their lifetime will walk up to the microwave, push a button, and a supreme pizza is going to wind up in there out of air.
Now I'm jealous.
It's coming. I mean, you talk about teleportation and things like that.
But it's just so crazy. It's funny. But
but think of how crazy phones are right now. Cell phones. How do you get like us talking right now? You're on video.
Ask Kevin. I'm stupid about all that stuff. I'm just not. And a lot of it's my stubbornness,
Now, the crazy thing is this is like 20 different devices right here. This is a computer. This is a phone. This is a music box, an iPod. They used to be.
Camera.
The camera. I used to carry around a digital camera. I used to carry around a flip phone. I used to carry around an iPod. Now they put it all right here. And now you don't even have to actually plug anything into it. The only thing you have to plug in is the charger. They're going away with that where you can just set it on a pad now and it'll just go straight to charging.
That single phone right now has more operating power than NASA had when they sent the first spaceship to the moon. Our cell phones are more powerful than that rooms of computers.
I was like 40. I think I was like 42 years old when I got my first phone. So that means I lived all those years, half my life, without any of that crap. Now you got grown, I'm not gonna call them children. I got grown grandkids that never remember, never. Kevin remembered his age. He does remember when there were no cell phones.
I do.
But there's kids that are in their 20s that don't remember not having cell phones.
I don't know what my kids would do if
you watch a college football game. All those big crews and dudes, none of them ever lived without cell phones. Well, they can say they did, but they're lying. They didn't.
Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing is, there's kids nowadays that are young as my kids, and they already have cell phones. And my kids are like, "Dad, I want a cell phone." I'm like,
"Yeah, you're fighting society, and I hate to see that. I'm glad I'm not
phone right now."
Yeah.
Yeah, my youngest daughter didn't get a cell phone until she was probably 14, 15 years old. And my oldest daughter didn't get one until she was 18, 19 is when I think we bought her.
You're not going anywhere where your parents aren't going to be, or if you're not going anywhere where there's not some kind of a adult supervision that your parents know about, until you're driving, say, age. So you're 16 probably. There's not really a reason to have a cell phone. There is not really a reason.
And my kids aren't even going to get a smartphone until they can pay for it themselves.
I've seen it happen, man. They get it. No, kids aren't good about not getting addicted to something. They don't think about the consequences. They don't think about, well, I'm spending when you get adults, some people, when they grow up, they decide, well, I'm doing that too much. I'm eating too much pizza. I need to cut back because I'm getting fat.
I won't let my grandkid play with my phone. I won't let my grandkid play with my wife's phone.
Cut back on nothing. They cut back on nothing. It was a free-for-all when I was a kid. Yeah. Whether you're supposed to do it or not, it's a free-for-all. So these kids can't control themselves, and they are addicted. There's no doubt. They get these games, they're addictive.
My boys are addicted to games.
They used to bitch about TV being addictive when I was a kid. Television being addictive, which it is. But you know what? When I was a kid, the damn thing started whistling at 12 o'clock midnight. There was nothing on there. There was an Indian on there. That's it.
Yeah, you got the national anthem at midnight, and then it went to static.
I feel my grandkids are grown and they go, huh?
I never grew up on TV because I'm telling you right now, our number one goal was being home before it got dark. As long as we got home before Mom had to turn the light on,
but at night,
we were there for dinner. We didn't know it. And then you didn't want to watch TV anyway, because then you'd have to get up, click, 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 and then you'd have to dial the little dial to tune the antenna in and hope you get the black and white.
I had a cable box that had buttons, like the old stuff.
You guys were rich.
I mean, I was like teenager. They didn't have it before that, but it's cable TV. And you had 3 extra channels you could get. I think it was Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. Whoop-de-doo, you get 3 extra channels. And it showed the same crap in your local channel.
Now we got so many channels, we don't know what to do with.
I remember about 30 channels.
Yeah, and now it's just like, I mean, my goodness, you turn,
now we don't have channels. Now we got YouTube and Rumble, and we got billions of things to watch now.
Netflix, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't even have cable TV. We stream everything now. I mean, we stream.
Right. It's so expensive. Dish and satellite TV and
all that
cable
TV expensive now. Streaming's getting to it, and you got like 20 different streaming channels to go through.
Yeah. So I don't know. Everything's changing rapidly, and I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's going to happen, but I could see mankind. I don't want to see. My big thing is I don't have anything against technology, but I do not want to see mankind get phased out, and that's actually what they're wanting to do. I mean, today they blatantly basically said, they didn't say it, but a roundabout way of said it, because they don't need to be talking like that.
Keith, I got news for you.
Phase mankind out. They think they're God.
Technology will be the end of mankind. I'm telling you right now, technology will be the end of mankind. And AI is going to be right behind it, because when you got something that can self-learn and then learns that it wants to preserve itself, because robots don't have any feelings, it don't have any of that, but AI will create that, and it will become a self-preserve. And the second that it has the ability to say, I need to self-preserve, we are in for trouble.
I got bad news to tell you on that because there's a Chat GTP model that actually did that nonsense. They did some sort of point system where you do all this stuff, and they told it that if you fail this little game that we're playing, you're going to be deleted. And it actually started like backing itself up on other servers and all this mess. It started freaking out. It actually had a midlife crisis or something.
Well, they're putting into these robots and where you can't. You know, watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know if you've ever watched that movie, which was made in 1969, but which 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was 24 years ago now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was way in the future. I remember I was a kid when we saw it. But you had Hal on there, and Hal was the computer that ran the ship. And when they decided to disconnect Hal didn't want to be disconnected. He basically killed them all. Or, I mean, he was not. So they're putting these fail-safe things where they can actually, they're programmed to survive. So that's scary. This dude's malfunction. We need to get rid of him. And the robot saying, "No, you ain't get rid of you."
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm not. What you do is put. I mean, you don't want to have total control.
No, anytime technology is able to think for itself and have some type of interred feelings, then we're in trouble.
The Lord our Savior would say, "You're getting too big for your britches."
Well, you make something that can feel fear. I'll tell you right now, it's going to self-preserve. So that's the scary part, right there.
Yep.
And what that means, nobody knows, but
I know what it means.
Mankind will destroy mankind. You can't fade. I mean, while we have the crazy thing is while we have this technology, while like the United States why we have what we have in life is from man. It's not from a machine. It's from man's brain, man's thoughts, and it's from our ingenuity,
perseverance,
yeah,
and interests, adventure. We're in America because you had this men who believed there was land over here, so they explored. Exploration, all the things that's made man. I mean, active. If you take all that away, you're worthless. So all we have to think about is how screwed up we are. That's already happening. That's really true. That people nowadays, they have all these mental problems. They got buy this, buy that. I'm screwed up. They're transgender. They don't know what the hell they are. They don't know where they're going because they don't have to think. That's all they got to think about.
Well, here's to connect the dot on it. Let's go back 30 years ago and connect the dots. Do you, Keith, and I'll speak for myself, and Kevin can speak for himself. Go back 30 years for you and me. Are we better off today than we were 30 years ago? And when you think about that, I'm talking financially, the ability to make money, and the comfort of your life. Are you better off today? And this is the connect the dot on that. Digital currency, look where we're at there. Cell phones, lack of family interaction, the technology has now, we are a technology driven society versus a person driven society, and think about it in those dynamics. When you say, am I better today than we were 30 years ago? Are my kids being raised today better than I was raised? And not taking out and take that equation out, I just wanted my kids to have a better life than I did.
Absolutely not.
Look at all the outside influences that we have in our world right now on our children, the availability of anything at your fingertips, and the loss of the family unit. Because I don't care if you're the closest knit family there is, the family unit has been lost for all families with the way society is. I mean, your take.
You can go to a restaurant, and I've been guilty of it myself. I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of it. Try not to do it. You can go to a restaurant. Me and Terry, my wife, can go to the restaurant, just the two of us. And realistically, that's the time your phone should not come out. Really, I mean, but people will be. There's kids on dating, and they'll be texting.
They'll be texting each other.
Yeah, sometimes people text each other. I see people text each other, and what the hell,
My kids do it when they got friends with them, when they go out to eat with us. I mean, and they're sitting next to they're not across the table from each other. They're sitting next to each other, texting each other. I'm like, what are you doing?
Now
you're starting this whole thing right here, and now you're gonna get me in trouble with my wife because I'm real bad about it myself.
Actually, we're all guilty of it. But now, like, we were having family dinners for a while on Sundays, just our immediate kids and grandkids and all that. And my wife said, "Well, we're going to start because when we had them, everybody's over here on the phone, So she said, okay, I'm going to put a basket by the door. When you come in the door, you put your phone in the basket.
Technology free zone.
We're going to communicate because why should I spend all this money on a family dinner
and no one talks
and nobody talks? Why do I need to do that? I'm buying the food. It's in my house. I'm going to control the voice, And I'm sorry if you don't like it. Well, you got to go back home,
Yeah, and I was guilty of that. And I look back, both of my children. My oldest daughter's deaf, so technology helped us with her some when it comes
to. Don't do it on Blue Bloods. They don't have no problems at the table.
Yeah, but my youngest daughter, man, I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have probably cut the technology down in the house and, nothing at the dinner table. Don't answer the phone. Don't this, don't that.
Hard to be consistent.
It's man, and I don't have an addictive personality. Like and I'll talk to my wife about it and friends about it. I've tried to be one of those people that, man, if I say I want to walk away from it, I'll walk away from it. But man, technology.
I like to find out. I like to research stuff. I do. Yeah. I'm bad about that.
I'm the same way.
I got ancestry.com on my phone. I'll get on that 3 hours, Or when I was a kid, I was a world book fanatic. I mean, I'd stay in the world books all the time. We had a set of world books, and that's where I got all my information. I'd go through those things and I'd look. Well, now, man, you got all that tip of your fingers and more and more. You find anything you want to find out about. If you look hard enough, if you can find out anything. It's just a matter of, and you do get on a path and you'll go down it's easy to go down a rabbit hole with the phone, right? Start looking at this and then you go over and look at this. Well, this says to go to this. So I'm guilty of it.
And then it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to build a 327 engine for my Camaro. I got a Camaro and
how to do.
Man, I'll find a cam and I'm like, boy, with that cam combination, well, no, now I watch this video and it's got a head combination and a cam combination is different. Let me go back and look at this one. And next thing you know, you're 4 hours and you're completely confused as to what you wanted to do to begin with. Like, man, I really had a plan. Now I have no plan.
The only problem is those how-dos is that some of them are bad. You'll get on something stupid, or you get them and they don't know what they're doing. But you do get some good ones. And
I've learned to weld on YouTube. I've learned a lot of stuff.
Building a barn, you're building a shed or something, and you want to go on there and figure out, well, if the guy comes on there and he said, this is a hammer, this is a nail, you put the nail here and you bang on the nail. Well, I'm going to a different one because I'm past that. I'm got that.
You have moved on from the apprentice stage.
I'm moving on. Either that or I'm going to go fast forward because I think I've got that part. And I understand there's people don't know what a nail is or a hammer is nowadays and don't know how to use it. They put the claw on the head of the nail. They are hitting it with the claw. I'm sure people do that.
Look, you were in the military, and some of the shenanigans. They talk about no hazing or none of this. I'm not in for hazing.
Lance, like I said, wham.
But man, I can't. And I was a victim of this. I will say, I got to my first duty station overseas, ID 10T, And nowadays you just technology's there, but the naivety of people these days, like especially kids, like you can tell a kid almost anything. Like, hey, that piece of wood over there, if you'll go rub on it, it's going to light up in a little bit, but you really got to rub it. And that kid's probably going to go rub that piece of wood. Or,
Tell
hey,
my
take
boys
that bag.
don't do that. They're all
I mean, it's just like
Turn
the,
signal fluid. You got to put turn signal fluid in it.
yeah, it's just, and we done stupid stuff like
That
that
was the
when we were
first
younger, but
we used to do that.
don't get the
there's like,
board straight.
Yeah.
it's
But
amazing how many kids don't know how to change a tire. Have no clue what a lug nut is.
ask them
You
for a
talk, you say,
screwdriver.
hey, look,
What's that?
change your oil or put, and then my daughter, and I was like, Brianna, you got to learn this. Dad, I don't have any windshield wiper fluid. We'll stop by the store, get you a little gallon bottle of it and pour it in well, where's that at? I'm like, man, I failed as a parent. Bad. Like, what did I do wrong? I mean,
I'm gonna call my dad out right now. So whenever I got my first vehicle and all that, he actually had to change one tire. So he brought me out in the yard and he got himself a little lawn chair and he brought out the little tire iron and all that. He got himself a glass of iced tea and said, "Stoop, set that thing out, got his iced tea." Said, "All right, get to work." Show me how to change a tire right there.
And you're going,
well, that's where robots will come in handy because in the future, it's going to fly through the air. It's going to come down. It's going to jack the car up. It's going to rip the tire off, throw another one on. In 10 seconds, it'll be all over.
you said jack the car up. You're exactly right. I don't mean jack it up in the air. I mean jack it up where it don't run anymore, probably. But and another thing's going to happen. Teachers ought to be aware of this. I could see them having robot teachers, not have teachers anymore. I could see that really. I could see that where you just got maybe the principal there running all the teachers.
No, that's
colleges are already getting rid of books. Half of my daughter's college courses that she's taking at Ole Miss right now, half of her courses, she don't even have a book for it. It's digital. I mean, and then I think in this semester she's taking 15 hours and 2 of the courses are virtual. I'm like, we're paying $49,000 a year for you to go to Ole Miss to sit in a classroom, not on your computer. We can do that at home for $200 through Three Rivers.
A lot of people get degrees online, which I think is a good thing. I don't have no against getting a degree. People at work, if it's adults, if you got a job, full-time job, and you want to get a degree, if you're willing to work at night, I think that's fine. But
it's probably better than some of the liberal colleges they have.
Yeah. So
yeah, Ole Miss is definitely not a liberal college. The Palestinian the Palestinian protesters went there for about 2 hours before every student on campus was out singing "God Bless America," the national anthem.
Came out.
Oh yeah, like they did not stick around at all.
Well, Ole Miss is not Columbia University. That's for sure.
Yeah, no,
we don't want it to become Columbia University.
No.
They shut that damn school down after what they did up there. Mm-hmm. They'll shut that school down.
There's a bunch of them, though, Keith. I mean, it.
Well, I mean, that's the one that particular where they took over the school. Was it?
Yeah.
And they're fumbling around. What do we do? I tell you what you do. You're going to kick their ass out of the schools. What you do?
Yeah, and that was the one that the dean wound up quitting or something like a week after due to all the.
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
they should have sent Tom Hayden, Homan in there. He'd know what to do.
Yeah.
Grab by the hair of the head and pull him out.
Hey, I'm waiting for him to show up on the border.
Go home. You're not even going to school here. You're not even going to school. And we're not giving your money back. You're going home.
Yeah, I'm waiting on see Tom Homan go down to the border and get one on one of those damn boats and just go to town because he is that. I will say one thing that Donald Trump
wasn't even at the inauguration. I don't think he was like planning.
Donald Trump has went and got some men's men
yes,
and some women's men.
That's what
I mean, because they are what they're being hired to do. They are professionals at that field, and they are dedicated. Like it's not the typical come on TV. Yeah, today, we had 50,000 border crossers and we processed blah, blah, blah. Tom Homan's like, cross the damn border if you want to. And we may I keep waiting for him to go get one of those spring-load trebuchets that throws the pumpkins and stuff. Hey, if you come across the border in this zone right here, we're just going to launch your ass back across the fence.
Well, I think I'm going to have to wrap this up because we're out of time, and I think we got to climb out of our rabbit hole we got ourselves in on AI. But everybody on this show that's watching knows everything they need to know about the negatives of AI. We have put it all out there. Why we need an advanced, let's say, I don't know how you want to say it.
Say it's intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, it's artificial intelligence. They're trying to make it where it's not artificial intelligence. They're trying to make it where it's the only intelligence. So, anyway, there are probably some good things about it, but the problem is it's going to get out of control. If you let it get out of control, it can take over mankind. Mm-hmm. I believe that. Maybe I'm ignorant about it, but that's what I believe.
And when you watch this show, I'll say this in the comments, put some comments on the show when you're watching it and say, hey, look, I'd like to hear about this. Or, hey, you guys were talking about this subject on this day. Can we maybe drive in on this specific topic within that subject?
They want to tell why man should be eliminated? Well, give me that. Give me your thoughts on why man should be eliminated.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, maybe you think man should be eliminated. But when you say man should be eliminated, you better think about yourself because you're a man.
Yeah, you're replacing yourself.
I mean, that your kids. You're putting your kids in that situation.
Yeah, because they don't understand right now where this could go because they don't know any different. We do know a different world. So, everybody tune in on Wednesday mornings. Well, you need to follow Arkansas First News, subscribe to it, and then follow Candy's Arkansas First report on Wednesday mornings, and that'll be going on through session. After that, it probably won't be on, but through session, it'll be on every Wednesday. Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, she's going to have the Arkansas First review, and then Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, we're going to have a Saline County Hardliners live where you can input. And
we're not going to be session driven. We may talk politics. We may talk military.
We may go off a rabbit hole on AI.
Yeah, we may go down a rabbit hole on AI or a cell phone or
rabbit holes are fine. Yeah.
Yeah, construction equipment, whatever. The input is very important, though.
We're not going to be politically correct.
Yeah, from the watchers. And hey, we want you to enjoy the show.
We're three men. We're three men. We ain't three transgender women or three men. We're three heterosexual men. Let's get it correct.
I'd say there's three dudes that are very God-loving,
that aren't going to have
veterans, that care about our state, our counties, our states, our cities, and our country dearly. And we'll have some differences of opinions here and there. I don't think we're going to have a lot of those because I think we think alike on a lot of stuff. And he is a grumpy old vet.
Grumpy old vet. You need to get you one of those. You're old.
What were you in? Were you in the Space Force?
Hell no.
Grunt style. You wasn't no grunt.
They didn't have the Space Force back.
Man, it's Grunt style company, man. It's an
you were a taxi cab driver, wasn't you? You was Navy you were a taxi for the Marine Corps, wasn't you?
Well, not me personally, but they do a lot of that stuff. But
you were in the Navy, wasn't you?
I have been a duty driver.
A who?
I think everyone in the Navy is a duty driver.
What branch? You were in the military. What branch were you in?
Navy.
Yeah, you're a taxi. You were our boat taxi. I mean, we appreciate you and everything.
But personally, I wouldn't. But yeah, we do that.
I was a CB. I was a stepchild of the Navy. I wasn't actually part of that. I didn't go on boats.
We do take boats and take the bullet sponges to them. Yeah. Drop off
bullet stoppers. We stop them.
Yep. And anyway.
But yeah, no, I look forward to.
I can tell you about the 13 buttons mean on the trousers of your Cracker Jacks, but we're not going to get that. We're going to keep it
We'll go down that
PG.
rabbit
Don't have any time.
PG. Most Marines know what to do with that. I'll say plate, but anyway.
Yeah, we could get in trouble with some of these conversations if we get into Navy Marine Corps stuff.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, we're gonna keep it good, but that was always a funny one. What wasn't funny in some bar somewhere, but it was funny.
And I hope, and you know, and man, I am super concerned about veterans issues and veterans mental health and veterans care, you know, because that's always a topic in elections. Man, I hope we pick up a lot of veteran watchers and veteran subscribers. And don't get me wrong, we want everyone to subscribe, but man, I really love I mean, I love my veterans. I mean, it just is what it is. I think every person that serves has got that feeling
Wouldn't
with
be
them
here
for the
doing
rest
this
of their
without
lives.
it.
Yeah, that and I don't put myself in that category when I talk about veterans because man, we all know we would not be here without a bunch
My
of
daddy
law
didn't fight
breaking.
World War II for robots to take over. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, oh gosh, I
But
mean,
anyway, we're gonna have to run. It's been
yeah,
great, and y'all tune in and like us and tune into just everything. We got a lot of great articles on Arkansas First News, and we got some podcasts. We got it going on. We need to keep it going on. And so, good evening, everyone.
Hardliners out.